Hey, it's Jang here from LegoJang.com with a look at Lego Castle set number 70400 with 90 pieces. This is called the Forest Ambush. It's somewhat inspired, I would say, by, or at least kind of spiritually related historically to the Bandit Ambush set from 1996. This one is a little bit different. It's a fair amount different, has some different stuff in it. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and do a speed build and take a look at the completed product. Alright, that takes care of the assembly of this set. Now let's take a look at the minifigures. We do get 4 of them. Here's your first one. They say that he has scale mail on. I could see that also being chain mail. It's kind of half and half between the two. He's got the long brimmed helmet on, and he's carrying a spear. Of course, you can switch around the different weapons between these guys. Here's your second Lion Knight, and he seems to be a little bit higher up in the hierarchy because he actually gets plate mail, at least up top. Not sure what they've got going on for leg protection. Pretty generic there, but all the print is up top. This guy does have a little bit of fairly short facial hair, so he must have somebody to help him with grooming that, because back in those days you either pluck it off or try to shave it off, or you just have massive amounts of hair. So he's definitely being tended to. Over here, going to the Dragon Knights, the bad guys who are doing the ambush. Let's take a look at this guy first. Check out the print that he's got on his top. It's a pretty nice looking print. He's carrying a flail with a chain on it, so it probably would not actually be standing up like that. It would be flailing about. And this is a character that has two different faces, so depending upon what kind of look you want to have on him, you can change that out. Pretty cool. I like the look of this little guy. And then here's the senior member of this small little squad of ambushing Dragon Knights. This guy gets an axe, and he has a very nice looking shield on him. And also notice this guy also has a second face on the back of his head, or there isn't really a back, there's 2 fronts, so you can choose which expression that you would like him to have. Again, another different print for the torso. So 4 different minifigures, 4 different heads, 4 different headgear pieces, and 4 different torso prints. So nice variety, very nice variety there. Zooming back out, you can see that the cart also does have an additional sword and a shield. So if you want to equip a shield with one of these guys, you can. And I'll get to this little foresty bit in a second. They also have a guard dog with the Lion Knight's side that's accompanying them along on the trip, a German Shepherd dog. I think that this whole thing is set in Old England, so it doesn't really make sense to have a German Shepherd dog with them back in those days, but fortunately it's all fantasy, so it's all good. Let's go ahead and set the scene here so you can see just what was going on before I get into the details of the other added on things. I'll just put this sword away over here. The idea is that there was a single cart of royal treasure from the Lion Knight's side being transported with minimal escort, with just 2 individuals with it, hand-drawn cart. It's kind of hard for him to hold on to that thing. But they're just, going along their merry way. They didn't want to attract a lot of attention, which is why they tried to stay fairly well, just keeping the whole thing pretty small and not having a big, long procession. And they're just going along down a trail, and out of nowhere, a tree comes down in front of them, and it's an apple tree. So this guy goes out and he's like, ooh, apples. And he picks an apple and he starts chomping on it, and he drops his spear because he's a klutz, but he's really most interested in this awesome green apple. So he says, yay, hey, check it out, I got an apple. And the other dude's like, dude, move the tree. And he's like, but apple. And he's like, but tree. Just then, out of nowhere, this dude who's a snaggletooth, he's missing the tooth, starts waving this flail around, and he pushes this button over here, which is a flick missile. Oops, there it goes. And it hits the wheel of the cart, and the wheel falls off. Oh, this is not working so well. There we go. The wheel falls off, treasure falls off, and it opens up and it spills treasure all over the place. Now we've got a fight going on, because that was definitely an ambush. The whole idea of the flick missile was that it's supposed to represent bolts coming out of this crossbow right here. This is kind of like a little small embankment, and your Dragon Knight dudes were hanging out behind there. So I'll just leave this guy here for now. No, actually, I will leave him behind this bush over here. That's where he was hiding, getting ready to load up another crossbow bolt. And this was the guy who knocked down the tree in front of him, or pushed it down, and then set off the crossbow. So while this guy is eating his lovely, delicious green apple, this guy has to pick up a sword. Maybe he can get to a shield, and he's got to defend against these 2 knuckleheads over here who are just trying to mess up the entire day. So that's basically what you've got going on here. It's nice little action. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about it, that you can kind of set the scene on your own. The treasure box here is the new style treasure box. I'll slowly put everything back together. It's so packed with treasure, it was actually difficult to close the top. So I'm sure there's a specific arrangement of the pieces inside that would make this easiest, but as it is, I just kind of dropped everything in there. And you can see this is the new style box that swivels open, and it's in the reddish brown. There you can see all the stuff that's included inside. 6 gold coins, a golden goblet, and then 3 gems in there. Plus, with the extra parts that are included with the set, you also get another gold coin and another gold coin as well. So quite a large amount of treasure. I'm not even going to bother trying to close the door this time, because I know there's too much stuff in there, but quite a lot of stuff that you get to carry around and protect, and stuff that you can just use with your other minifigures, other themes. This stuff is fairly generic. Treasure is treasure. It's a pretty universal thing. The cart itself, I'll put this wheel back on. Take a look at just the cart. I showed you a second ago, it's a little bit difficult to get your guy to hold on to this end, because it's not wide enough to hold on to with 2 hands, and because of the way that minifigures' hands are angled slightly, your figure has to be at an angle one way or the other to the cart. Maybe the easiest thing would be to have one guy holding on this side slightly angled out, the other guy on this side slightly angled out. Just have the weapons in the opposite hands, so they're kind of helping to carry it together. That might make the most sense. It's a nice looking cart though. Wheels spin very freely and nicely, large in diameter. They look good. Use the smaller size of peg for holding onto wheels. Goes on very easily. Again, you've got an extra sword here and a shield. I definitely recommend equipping a shield when you're going up against a crossbow, and especially when you're also going up against a dragon knight who has a shield with him. It's best to, you know, even up the odds as much as possible. This guy does have a spear, so that gives him a little bit more range, so he can attack at intermediate range. He probably should never actually throw the spear. He could if he's a really good shot, but throwing the spear might not be the best idea, because then if you miss, you give a weapon to the other to the enemy. Fortunately, he does have one spare sword here, so it is a possibility in your own battle scenarios where you could throw the spear and then pick up a sword. This thing back here is really nice. I like the amount of coverage that it gives, and it kind of gives you a sense of rocks and tree, or maybe earth and rocks, and a little bit of tree stump here, some roots kind of showing up on the sides. And then this was a nice idea, using the carrot top to hold this in, this bit of foliage here, which you can kind of angle in if you want to. The crossbow can be turned on here, and of course the crossbow can be removed altogether. It's just a regular minifigure weapon. This is your little launching spot with a flick fire missile. You've got an extra flick fire missile over here, and this tree. This is a nice build for the tree. Hopefully you could see that during the speed build. It's built on one of the large bars in here, and then you've got a couple of these straight Technic pieces, and that uses the relatively new angled Technic piece here with the axle that comes out here, axle comes out here, and they just give you a little lever, so that's very convenient to access that. I'm going to move this guy over just one because he's kind of getting in the way with his weapon hand there. Let's see if I can get him to cooperate and fit. There we go. Yeah, so that's a nice little mechanism for just stopping the action, you know, just putting a block in the road, quite literally. So there you go. Spent a little extra time on that one. This is my first time doing a medieval set, so I wanted to kind of introduce, for folks who watch my videos but haven't seen the castle type stuff and kingdoms and all that, all the old medieval stuff, the kind of stuff that we're dealing with here, the kind of action that you deal with. Even though it's old school, you know, historical theme, historical / fantasy theme, you still get to have a variety of different styles of battle. Lego does introduce a lot of ranged stuff, a lot of ranged battle, so that's pretty cool. You get to have hand-to-hand combat, as well as stuff that actually shoots. So we'll see more of that for sure with the larger sets. But for now, that was set number 70400, the Forest Ambush set from spring to summer of 2013, from the revived Castle, they call it now, Castle theme from Lego. So thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for many more videos to come. Bye for now.